frightening image of the future, as we see garbage stacks as high as the tallest buildings, creating their own skyline. Mainly due to its visual, humorous, exciting storytelling, this movie kicks CinemaSins' ass so much in the first half, we're going to remove 3 sins right off the bat. It's the anti-CinemaSins movie, really, since so much of it is anti what other movies do. See? Even the sin counter doesn't obey. In the future, you can train cockroaches to be like dogs. I can't wait to see the Sarah McLachlan commercials for these poor bastards. How did this society so dependent on fossil fuel ultimately decide to put solar panels on something as small as a PA system? Or did the Wallies do that because they like the song so much? I'm sinning it either way, so take your pick. Filmmakers said, hey, let's take Johnny Five from Short Circuit and put him in a bleak future with no humans where he's stuck stacking up trash. And now I'm depressed as all hell. Robot main character rides by multiple dead copies of himself, leaving me to wonder why this one Wall-E was left alive after all the others failed. Was it his compassion for roaches? You see? Damn. It's stuff like this that's so fun about this movie. If this were a Dreamworks movie, this now wisecracking robot would say to his cockroach friend, yeah, Spliff, looks like I need some new treads. This guy won't be needing his anymore. If we play our cards right, we'll be back in time to watch The Sopranos. Bada bing. Gotta say, the use of actual humans in this cartoon footage is a little unsettling. It's not like we see actual humans later when Wall-E goes into space, so what's up with this?
Pilot chart a course for non-stop entertainment, fine dining, and with our all-access hover chairs.
I mean, we hereby interrupt this largely dialogue-free movie opening to bring you a ton of dialogue-heavy exposition. Wow, look at all these human non-robot trinkets this asshole has stored up. This worker robot seems to have just enough personality to qualify as AI, basically. He has a favorite movie, obsesses about cleanliness, collects trinkets, and crushes on a girl robot. They should have called this movie AI and saved about 3 letters and a dash. Wall-E plugs in a video cassette into some sort of ancient VCR, which not only still works, but is compatible with an iPod. Also, this old VHS tape somehow plays with HD quality and absolutely no static. Wow. I'm also compelled to ask how a robot so beholden to his programming that he's still compacting trash long after the other Wall-E units have broken down is still so free-thinking to have collections and favorite movie scenes and cockroach friends. Is this AI or is it a slave bot? You can't have it both ways, damn it. Man, this sandstorm warning seems awfully late, coming 5 seconds before the storm hits and all. The Twinkies and cockroaches survive the apocalypse cliches, finally get married and have a baby. Why doesn't he do this just before sundown? At least a little bit, so his morning routine isn't so full of I might actually die moments. When Wall-E runs over its pet cockroach, we can clearly hear crunching and cracking, yet it gets back up with no problem. Sorry kids, this cute roach is dead. Thankfully this plant doesn't have deep roots, or else Wall-E would have just crushed humanity's chance at a new hope. Also, luckily Wall-E finds proof that the Earth can still grow plants just minutes before Eve shows up, a robot built to detect and report such things. We find out later that this red light is from a spaceship that has many red lights, so how did this one escape and have a mind of its own? Scout robot, whose deployment has been almost all electrical until this point, somehow still requires a completely separate machine to enter some kind of passcode to be activated. I guess it's so Wall-E can experience the dramatic reveal of his love interest. How does he even know she's a girl robot? Or is this movie pushing a much stronger sexual equality message than I realized? I mean, gay or straight, basically he falls for her based on looks, on pure design, without hearing her say one word. So Wall-E is kind of a sexist dick if you think about it. Eve shoots some sort of plasma ray that causes a mushroom cloud and Wall-E survives it. I get the joke, cockroaches are unkillable, but where are the millions of other cockroaches if that's the case? Also, I understand why Eve would have weapons for self-defense, but why the shoot first, ask questions later mentality? This electromagnet still works, and I see no solar panels. Wait, if Wall-E's down here, why is this magnet crane even moving? I'm serious. This might be the biggest mystery of the entire goddamn movie. And if you tell me it's moving to follow her, then how is the magnet strong enough to detect and follow her from this distance, but not pick her up until she gets even further away?
Interactive. Classified.
So the humans made the plant-seeking robot's mission classified, in case it encountered another robot? Aliens? I mean, this movie doesn't show us any aliens, so who did they think might even conceivably intercept this robot's objective maliciously?
Wall-E.
Roll credits. Opening this Wall-E shed during a massive sandstorm for even this short a span of time would definitely fill this thing with 70% sand and debris. Robot sneeze. This is funny, but we all know how Eve operates, and this singing bass and half of Wall-E's living space would surely be obliterated before Wall-E could stop her. Just how fucking big are that toaster's bread holes? Jesus. There's no way on Earth, future or present, that she hit him hard enough to indent steel like this without also destroying him in the process. But whatever. Good visual gag, y'all. What the hell is this shit? This is basically the Benny and June of robot movies. Eve's up-till-now autonomous nature is completely overtaken by native programming once she sees a sign of life. Why was she ever autonomous in the first place? Wall-E gets struck by lightning twice in rapid succession, because this movie is either trying too hard to show how selfless he is, or is making a weird Jim Caviezel parallel I was unprepared for. Pong? What kind of society was the future living in where Wall-E could easily find an Atari 2600 and a playable cartridge of Pong? Wall-E finally goes off to work and stops waiting for Eve to come back online. How much you want to bet this is the exact same day the space humans come for Eve? God damn it. Wall-E wastes a bunch of precious Eve-saving time driving back to show the cockroach where to stay. This cockroach is like, dude, you forgot to open the shed door so I can get to the Twinkie bed. Why didn't you give me a cockroach-friendly garage door opener for this exact situation? Wall-E is addicted to alien robots. Because these robots are so awful at their jobs, Wall-E is allowed to escape from this situation. Plus, the little cleaning robot that he totally angered a minute ago decided not to narc on him. They have no way of having their Eve probes send word of their findings ahead of the actual robot arriving back on the ship. This cleaning robot must completely immerse itself in 420 activities because it completely forgot about Wall-E after 10 seconds. Also, this robot decides not to start from the beginning of the tread marks and leaves an entire section of floor unclean.
Whoa.
So look, I agree that if a bunch of people from Earth, especially Americans, were shot into space and they were on permanent hold until Earth was habitable again, most of them would turn into these bunch of fat lazy assholes, but all of them? You know there would be at least 10% of the group annoyingly thin, jogging around the ship, eating vegan, and tracking kale everywhere. In fact, how does this lot of fat bastards even breed? There's apparently enough sexual activity going on for this to be going on for generations, but none of these people even know how to move, much less sex each other.
Time for lunch. In a cup.
This is Pixar's most biting satire to date. Before this movie, all the messaging in Pixar films had been self-esteem related and feel good. Toy Story is be a kid again. Cars was slow down and enjoy life. Bug's Life was if you're a misfit, be a proud one and you can contribute. But this movie's all like, yo, America, you were fat and lazy. And you know what? I think they're dead on with this exaggerated future of bring everything to me and put everything in a cup so I can sip it. And I'm even going to take one sin off for Pixar being right in its ballsiest film messaging to date. Highly automated and presumably efficient future society places super important life-proof evidence robot on the same tram as ordinary fat humans on their way to chair-based smoothie yoga. Are they saying this is how long they ran the ship? Because I don't care how good health advances got over the years, there's no way these people survive that long. Unless they're constantly provided artificial hearts that can take the abuse.
Home? We're going back?
If the evil ship's computer steering thing behind this guy is truly evil and trying to stop the return to Earth, as the rest of the movie will suggest, why does it even allow the captain to press the button and see this message in the first place?
We have a jogging track?
Considering that in a second you don't even know how to pronounce manual, do you even know what jogging is?
Operate Manuel.
Haha, but Fred Willard literally said manual twice during that presentation, including 1 second before you looked at the manual.
Step 1. Voice command. Confirm acquisition.
Confirm acquisition.
Okay, so how are you reading this shit when you couldn't even pronounce Operation Manual just before this?
Voice authorization required. Accepted.
Hilarious, but damn, future voice activation software has far outpaced plant life detection software, or tiny robot intruder detection software, or don't get fat and lazy software. No.
Caution. Rogue robots.
Why would the robot security team bother to inform all the people about rogue robots when they can simply arrest them right now? Instead of closing the pod door and making sure he stays on the pod, Eve turns around and glides towards some unseen control panel to ensure Wall-E escapes again. Here comes Wall-E riding his fire extinguisher, but damn, he had 1 second left before the pod destructed, and he still didn't get the door open at that time. Don't you think he's dead? What would happen to an Earth plant exposed to space? Dr. Tyson? Oh, snap, we got him for Interstellar, not this. Well, I'm sending it then. If humans choke and freeze to death in seconds, I'm guessing regular plants suffer some serious consequences that this movie is completely glossing over. And here comes the point in the movie where I itch if I don't take a sin off for how damn great this movie is. Way to waste your propulsion substance, ass. Accidental meat fat. Also, because our hands touched accidentally, we must be in love cliche.
Define hoe down.
This guy's been researching Earth a few minutes and somehow ended up at hoedown.
I didn't know we had a pool.
I realize this comment is intended to show the extreme clueless laziness of humans, but you're telling me this 100% marketed B&L cruise ship isn't shoving all the craft's amenities like pools down the residents' throats via constant advertisements? Security cam footage will now conveniently tell Eve what she should already know, that Wall-E loves her and sacrifices himself for her. Thank God for the kind of romantic comedy love-proof real-life humans never actually get. This asshole is such a slave to his cleaning program, it makes me wonder how Wall-E ever fell in love with Eve instead of just ignoring her to do his program task.
Sir, I insist you give me the plan.
Discount homage HAL 9000. Also, this A113 directive is such that it makes you wonder why the computer-controlled ship even bothered to continue dropping off Eves on Earth if the directive could never be broken.
That's an order.
Aye, sir.
So this proves the captain can order Otto to do his bidding, yet Otto will still represent a significant threat throughout the rest of this movie, because reasons.
Eva?
Wally!
Movie steals 90% of its dialogue template from Titanic. Wall-E rips off the zero-point energy from The Incredibles. Villain makes classic stupid-ass mistake of sending his nemesis and said nemesis' helper to the same place. You can bet that anytime a robot is shut down or broken, a reboot or an alternative power source will revive them. Not only did the Wall-E robots manage to stack Eve and Wall-E next to each other, but both robots happen to be crunched into these garbage cubes at just the right spot in order to still communicate. Mo blocks the doors ex machina. Why can't the guard robot use the same death grip ray on Eve that it's using on this other robot? The captain smartly retrieves the image of Wall-E and the plant, so he can trick the evil robot into thinking he has it. Problem is, the captain didn't see this part of the transmission, because Eve was alone when that image came up, so he shouldn't even know this exists. Having a good look at all these people that comprise the Axiom reminds me that this ship appears entirely American. Even if that's not true, I wonder how this ship handles politics. I have so many questions about this arrangement. Now the movie's stealing the ending of Titanic.
John, get ready to have some kids!
The movie makes an attempt to make these human characters matter, but these kids are in virtually no danger. They simply would have landed in the ungodly mass of humanity further down, unharmed. You may have forgotten by this point, due to all the adventure and action that has occurred since we last really saw him, that Wall-E can barely move because a motherboard inside him is damaged. But I guess the power of robo-owners can give you strength in certain situations. The movie will now reinforce the lie that just because you really want to win, you can do that, despite all obstacles, including the fact that you haven't used your muscles since you were born.
10 seconds to hyperjump.
This ship decides it can go into hyperjump 10 seconds after a plant gets inserted into a thing. Doesn't it need to worry about safety? And these assholes are mildly inconvenienced when the ship blasts into hyperspace, and they're not even buckled in or anything.
Wally?
The Wall-E amnesia is of course heartbreaking, but it's no different from the movie that makes you think the main character died for 2 minutes before his or her hand dramatically appears on the edge of the cliff. Of course Wall-E is going to remember. This is Disney, not Paul Schrader. Tiny electrical spark will somehow return Wall-E's memory loss, because that's how electronics work. Baby instantly kills the only plant Earth has with whatever the hell is in that cup. When Wall-E appears for a mini end credit sequence, he changes the Pixar lamp's light bulb, replacing it with a CFL bulb to be more environmentally friendly. But when Pixar returns next year with Toy Story 3, that asshole has his old environmentally wasteful bulb back in.
Because I choose not to run!
Silly customer! You cannot hurt a Twinkie!
Your bra bomb better work, nerdlinger.
The sun's energizing powers are replenishing my strength. Closer. Closer! Oh, God, yes!
Can you read my mind?
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
You keep trying to pick a fight, but I'm still just happy you're alive.
Don't tase me, bro! Don't tase me!
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
The future is a butt that farts horror. This is the story of a cat who lives with a young woman in a trailer park not too many years from now. The young woman is named Zoe Ash, and her cat smells like a dumpster behind a seafood restaurant on a hot summer day. One day, a little hologram man tells Zoe that some bad men are coming to kill her. These men can do magic using technology because it is the future and such things are possible. Zoe and her smelly cat must travel to a strange land called Utah, in which many people are dying in exotic and gruesome ways. Now, I don't want to spoil too much of the story, so let's just say that things only get weirder from there. Will Zoe find a way to save mankind from itself? And will she do it in time to be back at work for her Monday morning shift at the cafe? Or will both Zoe and her cat be horribly murdered by cyborgs? You will have to buy this book to find out. Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits, a novel by New York Times best-selling author David Wong. You can find it wherever books like this are sold, or just go to futuristicviolence.com and order it that way. It's even available as an audiobook if you think reading is stupid. The book has been called subtly brilliant by Publishers Weekly, and Booklist calls it explosive, smart, and witty. Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits is an adventure suitable for all ages, except for children who will be traumatized.